The world is changing, and so does change. But the mind has the potential to capture the changing world and make every change count. At Skillsmindset, the leading global skills, strategy and corporate development company, we believe that the mind has the potential of transforming the man from obscurity to prominence. It's the reason why we make skills our business. At Skillsmindset, we stand for change, for development and for success. We challenge, we inspire and we lead. With Skillsmindset, your limit is just the beginning. Welcome to Skillsmindset. For more information about the great service we provide, please visit our website on www.skillsmindset.com or give us a call on our UK number on 07957 676 193. Better still, send us an email on info@skillsmindset.com. Skills Mindset. Challenging limits, maximizing opportunities.
Good evening, good evening. Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. This is a beautiful day. We are starting without wasting time as we used to do. I just would like to, give a word of welcome to all our listeners and those who are attending this masterclass tonight or wherever you are joining us from. I know that some people are joining from the United States and some from Australia. We're expecting some people to join from Canada and of course from Nigeria, Ghana, as it is. So yes, you are welcome, everyone. Welcome to the July edition of the Skillsmindset Masterclass. And I want to welcome everyone, as we would always do. We are thrilled to have you join us for the live session of this exclusive and transformative Skillsmindset Masterclass hosted by Skillsmindset. My name is Gbenga Lawal. So let us know, to start off, let us know where you are joining us from, the city, and of course, the country that you are joining us from. It will be a very great opportunity for us to know where you are joining from, and then we can also, welcome you into this, edition of our masterclass this month. So, friends and family, anywhere you are joining from, again, I need to see on the screen where you're joining from, but I can't see it here right now. I need to know those who are joining from LinkedIn, those who are joining from YouTube, and of course from Facebook, because we are live on all these three platforms at the moment. So friends, let us know where you're joining from, and it will be great that to give a shout out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So as we get people joining us, it will be interesting to, also welcome our presenter, our speaker today, our guest. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Fumilola Tella. You're welcome. You're joining from Facebook. Thank you for joining us. Yes, thank you. I know you're joining from Facebook. Some are joining from LinkedIn as well. So it's a great pleasure to have you. We are happy that you are here joining us tonight. Okay. Let's just get this on the way. So, friends, welcome to this exciting moment as we'll embark on a journey together to explore the power mind resource of experienced experts. Together, we will uncover and enhance opportunity, for skills development, business progression, and professional growth, and of course, leadership for everyone. Today, our discussion focuses on a stimulating and challenging topic. We are looking into cybersecurity, a global safety challenge. We are privileged to have an advocate, for identity and access management joining us tonight on this episode of our masterclass. Additionally, we are joined, by a proficient and experienced personality who is deeply informed in this field as well. He'll be joining us at some point we'll be bringing him on stage to also be one of the discussant for this on this topic. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ogunnoiki, an expert in cybersecurity and identity and access management. He holds educational qualifications in applied mathematics, high speed and data comms, and of course, cybersecurity, with a particular focus on utilizing blockchain technology for healthcare data loss protection. Throughout his career, Ola has collaborated on various cybersecurity projects with prominent UK insurance companies, especially in the field of identity and access management. He has also worked with a major UK bank on a data loss protection project. Additionally, he has gained experience working with renowned retail companies like John Lewis as well, where he successfully implemented privileged access protocols. Currently, Ola is engaged in research concerning the security of open AI codes. Okay, Mr. Ola Ogunnoiki is here with us at this. He's actually in the studio. Mr. Ola, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. A good evening to the audience today.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I'm here.
Lovely. Thank you so much. We're expecting another, expert in this field. Hopefully, he will join us in a little while, and I'll be having pleasure to introduce him as well once he's able to join. So, but friends, thank you for joining us again in this exciting masterclass where we will explore the intersection of cybersecurity, the global safety challenge, technological change or advancement, and of course, sustainability. I think Mr. Daniel has joined us now, isn't it? I think, yes, please bring him on. Yeah, bring him on. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Mr. Daniel Adebayo. I was just about to introduce you that you pop in. That's very timely. So let me just welcome Mr. Adebayo, another expert. We are so fortunate to have you, in the studio discussing this issue with us tonight. You are a cloud security consultant with Amazon, joining us to discuss this issue. Mr. Adebayo is one of the first 6 people in Nigeria to be certified as an offensive security certified professional. So Mr. Adebayo, you are welcome. Can we just hear your voice as well?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I can't come on camera right now. I'm actually in transit, but I would.
Yeah, maybe before Mr. Ola finishes presentation, you will have been, because it will be ideal to see your picture, to see your video, to interact with our people. Thank you so much. All right. So without much ado, I think we are ready to go and we are good to go. So friends from everywhere, I'd like to just give a bit of a background, not necessarily to the discourse of tonight, or to preempt the topic or the way Mr. Ola is going to be delivering his lecture or seminar tonight. But I just want to give a kind of an overview of what it is, that we are really discussing tonight, and of course some kind of a background to lead into this. We know that in today's interconnected world, the fields of cybersecurity and leadership are closely interconnected as we navigate the complexities of the digital age. It is crucial to have a strong cybersecurity measures and visionary leadership in place, definitely, because we know that cybersecurity is no longer just a technical issue. It has actually gone beyond that. It is now a fundamental aspect of our daily lives and business operations. So from protecting sensitive data to ensuring integrity of our systems, cybersecurity is the backbone of our digital infrastructure. So we got to take that seriously. So the threats, therefore, we face are constantly evolving. Cyber criminals are becoming more sophisticated, employing advanced techniques such as, ransomware, phishing, and zero-day exploits. As leaders, it is our responsibility to stay ahead of this threat and implement proactive measures to protect our organizations. And that is key. So it is not just to collect data, but we need to protect and we need to maintain data and, of course, protect data. So today, I am honored to have a renowned expert prepared to share his insight on how we can lead the cybersecurity charge in safeguarding our digital future. Mr. Ola, once again, you're welcome and you now have the ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me, my voice. I hope I'm more audible.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to join in today. I'm just going to show my presentation. I won't have to bore you with my introduction. I think the host have done a good job introducing. So don't know if my screen is showing. Is it actually showing at the moment?
We haven't seen your slide. Okay, yes, it's coming on. It's okay now. Yes, we can see your slide now. Thank you so much.
Okay. So I'm going to be speaking about cybersecurity, a global safety challenge. Well, we all know that we've heard about cybersecurity, but maybe we don't know how much of its challenge it is in the global world that we live in terms of IT. We all use information technology, whether from your phone, your phone devices, your tablet, your laptop, even your screen, your big TV. It's all become part of our social life, and as a result, all of these are subject to cybersecurity vulnerability and the challenges it brings along in our life. So I'm going to be talking more, looking at the impact of cybersecurity incidents on global economy. I'm going to be talking about common cybersecurity threat, best practices for individuals and organizations to enhance cybersecurity. And then I'm going to be looking at addressing cybersecurity challenges with NCSC. What's NCSC? Which is National Cybersecurity Center, UK National Cybersecurity Center. That's a tool that they've developed, and we're going to be looking at that. Then what's in emerging technology and trend in cybersecurity? What is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is a means by which individuals and organizations reduce the risk of becoming victims of cyber attacks. So every organization and individual, whether a small business or you're self-employed or you're working in a large organization, everyone needs to reduce the risk of becoming a victim of cybersecurity. And cybersecurity is a core function to protect the devices that we use. Everyone uses devices. You use a smartphone, you're using a laptop, or you're using a tablet or a desktop computer, anything, whether you are connecting to internet or not, your devices are subject to a cyber attack. So whether you are online or you are at work or you're not online, you can still be subject to an attack. So we're going to be looking at all of these in detail. So the impact of cybersecurity in global economy. For example, if your systems or your business is being attacked, you will definitely suffer financial repercussion of cyber attack. I.e., you could lose money. It can impact your business. If you're a business person, you're running a services or you're running a product development and you have a cyber attack, your customers are going to be wary. They wouldn't want to, patronize you. You will lose money. And then it can affect overall economy, because if you cannot meet your customer demand, that means your customers are left. They can't enjoy your services or your product. They have to look elsewhere. The cost of recovering and damage control is very huge. If you fall into a cyber attack, the cost of recovery can be very, very high. I'm trying to bring it into looking at the impact, the economic impact, the problem with that cybersecurity is bringing into the world, the challenges that we have. Then we're going to look at how to solve those challenges. So I want to start by looking at that. If I may say, just to backtrack a little bit, cybersecurity actually look at people, process, and technology. If you just remember that people, process, and technology, that's what cybersecurity is all about. Cybersecurity covers people, the process, the technology. The people are vulnerable to cyber attack. The processes are vulnerable to cyber attack. The technology they use are also vulnerable to cyber attack. So we're going to be also unwrapping those information. So cost of recovery, if you attack, it will cost you more money to recover your data, to recover your business, to recover your technology, your infrastructure. So this impact is huge, and it can make a business shut down. Yeah. So impact on stock market, of course, if you're a big company, you're on the stock market and you are attacked, definitely it can actually make your stock product your stock, the organization can lose their shares on the stock market. So it can have a huge attack impact on the stock market if a big company that's on the stock market. I would, for example, if a company, when a company like uh, uh, um, what's it called, that retail company, that was a retail company that was attacked recently. Even Lloyd's TSB was attacked at some point. Some banks were attacked at some point. Uh, the impact that have on their business on the stock market is very, very huge. So, and then there could be a long-term economic implications. If a business, if a big organization who's on the stock market, or big organization that's actually providing services to the community is attacked, it would have a long-term implication. Why? Because people will be wary to use their services because of their data loss. Yeah, that was on the time O2 was attacked. Yeah, even TalkTalk lost a lot of data to hackers at some point. A lot of people were very wary to use TalkTalk. I didn't even bother to use TalkTalk again. So you can see how much long-term economic impact that's having on that organization. It you know if cyber security can also create social and psychological consequences, and that's even happening to everybody, not just businesses as an individual. Yeah, trust and privacy concerns. We are all worried about the concern, the challenge that cybersecurity is having to, on us as an individual. While you are using your devices, you don't know whether somebody is recording your steps, you know, and so we've seen quite a lot of time where um, people's WhatsApp or Facebook account has been hacked. It's a social concern at the moment, very huge social concern, and this all falls under cybersecurity. Yeah, it can breed trust and anxiety among individuals. I mean, you'll be wondering, can you imagine when somebody sent an email? One of my professor sent an email like yesterday that his face is what the social media has been hacked, so we should disregard anything. I was like, this man must be going through a lot of anxiety, because he has to take time to now send. How many people is going to send those emails to? That's the kind of anxiety that cybersecurity impact can have on individual, and it's very challenging. It's very challenging, and it can also it can create a psychology toll on individuals and community. Yeah, definitely. It will create a psychology toll on us because you'll be wary of how you are using your devices, because you don't know who is hacking you, or but again, we're going to look at how to mitigate against all of those challenges. It can create impact on public services and critical infrastructure, of course. Societies can face disruption in essential services where there's a cyber attack. For example, healthcare. We all know what happened within the NHS. NHS is still being scrutinized, is still being under watch because of cyber attack at the moment. So utilities, it can happen to utilities, it can happen to transportation, it can happen to impact. For those of us that use I will give a Range Rover as an example. The one I was trying to change my car was considering Range Rover. But when I did a study on the rate at which Range Rover is being hacked and stolen, I just have to run away, because even the insurance company are very, very skeptical to insure. They don't want to insure Range Rover cars anymore. And if you're doing one, if you find one, the price will be very high. So the impact on public services and critical infrastructure is quite important. The rise of cybercrime and its social ramification, you know, proliferation of cybercrime, it undermines social trust. For example, you can't even when you are on the restaurant and they give you you don't have network, you wanted to log in onto the Wi-Fi, you're going to be very, very careful. You're going to be very wary, because you don't know who's next to you that's going to hack you. So that kind of anxiety, that kind of social trust, uh, or social distrust, if I can put it that way, is coming from the impact of cyber security. And it's good for us to understand the consequences, the challenges that we face in this world um, via cybersecurity. There could be all sort of legal and regulatory ramifications as well. If if you are hacked, you could if you for example, an organization is hacked and there's a data loss, you as an individual could enter a legal fight, a legal dispute with the organization, leading to prolonged litigations and financial liability for that organization. In the repercussion on international relations is also very critical. Uh, cyber attack can strain diplomatic ties. um, I'll give Africa as an example, not Nigeria. Africa generally, a lot of European people are very wary to even interact with African countries because of the level of cyber attack that is coming from there. Also China and Russia. Because those are areas where a lot of for statistically a lot of hackers come from. But again, this is the kind of repercussion on international relation. It can cause it, and it can actually lead to diplomatic strain between countries, especially if there is if that those countries are being deemed as more into cyber crime, then that can actually create a lot of disputes. Government response and policy adjustments, definitely, uh, government of each individual countries will have to tighten up their policies to safeguard their own data and safeguard their people from cyber attack. So there is a lot of technology impacts and innovation paradigms. Uh, there will be, if a cyber attack do occur, there will be destruction of technology ecosystem. There will be shift in cybersecurity investment and R&D priorities. So people will then be focusing more on prioritizing and investing in cybersecurity or safeguarding their data, rather than um, uh, you know investing in other opportunity or development of their product. There will be impact on digital transformation and tech adoption. Enterprises will reconsider digitalization initiatives, leading to alterations in technology adoption trends and digital business models. Cybersecurity as a driver of technology evolution. So so looking at the pursuit of robust cyber defenses catalyzes innovation. Of course, it influences technology landscape and fostering adaptive security measures. So, I mean, looking at all of these uh, kind of give us an understanding of the impact, the economic impact of cybersecurity. And this is just limited to this. There could be more. I just decided to give us a bit of insight of what's happening out there in the global world. and the impact that cybersecurity is bringing to the global world. So I'm going to talk about next time. I'm going to talk about common cyber threats and vulnerability in today's digital world. Ah, everybody knows that. Well, let me just say everybody. So I think the first thing everyone will think is, oh, cybersecurity, antivirus, anti malware. It goes beyond that. Seriously, it goes beyond that. I mean, I don't know how many people have experienced identity theft. Identity theft. That's one of the most common cyber attack that is trending right now in the social media world. Identity theft. Every social media uh, platform uh, have a tendency to be vulnerable to cyber attack. Cyber attack is the fact that they can actually access your email or access your Facebook account, Instagram account, or WhatsApp account. It means that all of those social media services are subject to vulnerability. So we got to be very, very, very careful, and we have to follow. We have to research as an individual, as a business owner. You need to research into how to keep your business from cyber attack. Your services to the community is important. You yourself, your data is important. So we all need to be very aware of the need to protect ourselves, protect our data, and protect our business from cyber attack. Just looking at some of the stuff, some of the common cyber threats that we know or we've heard about. So malware attack they're malicious software programs, and they're designed to disrupt, damage, and gain unauthorized access to your computer systems. They can include viruses, worms, ransomware, and spyware. Okay, phishing schemes. That is the most common cyber vulnerability technique that hackers use to gain access to your data. Phishing schemes involve fraudulent attempts to obtain sensitive information, such as your username, your password, or your credit card, or details by disguising as a trustworthy entity in electronic communication. And the hackers they use different psychological technique to do that. So, but we all need to be aware of all this so that we can protect ourselves, protect our families and friends, and our businesses. Distributed denial of service, DDoS attack. This one is overwhelming. If they take over your system, they can disrupt your network. And they do that by flooding your internet traffic, yeah, and making it unusable. So that means if they gain access to your internet router or your your network infrastructure, they can flood your network infrastructure with data, with traffic, and which means when they do that, your system will be confused and it will block every other access. So then nobody will be able to log in. It has happened in the past, and yeah, um, if you remember the WannaCry in 2017, 2016, 2017, 18, WannaCry, where one of the NHS trusts could not access their system, that's DDoS. That's DDoS. And this DDoS can happen not just to an organization, it can happen to an individual. If you have, for example, your internet at home, most people, I just want to chip in this. Most people don't change the password of their router. Okay, during my master's degree, we gained again we were taught these tools, and we ran an exploration around where we are, our where we are having our studies, and we could see a lot of routers with username and password of password 123, password 12. That's somebody else's home, and everybody on that router is connecting to the internet. So what it is somebody gain access, it jump into that router, they can access anything within your household as long as that thing is on that internet. Your laptop, your phone devices, they can push any software to your devices. So DDoS is very, very common, but it's the most deadly because it will flood you. You can't do anything. You can't access to anything if you get a DDoS attack on your infrastructure. So again, looking at common vulnerabilities and what we need to do. Outdated software. What causes common vulnerability? Outdated software. If your laptop is not updated, if you don't run a Windows update or iOS update or an Android update to update your devices, it can lead to vulnerability, because the reason why the software owner push out updates one of them is security updates. If you do not run a security update on your devices, that means the mitigation code or script they've written to prevent an attack, which they have heard about your system, will not have that safety. It's like an outbreak of epidemic outbreak, and they ask you to go and get an immunization. I did not go and get immunization. Definitely, you are vulnerable to contact that disease. That's exactly the same thing that happens within the software update. If you do not run a software update on your system, definitely your system will be vulnerable for attack. Weak passwords. Everyone like to type a password. If your system don't have, if you're running a phone, a mobile device, an hands-on device, maybe a tablet or something, or your laptop, you must put a password on it, and the password should be a complex password. Why I said a complex password is because it's very easy to hack any password. Hackers, that's one of the cheap thing they do. I say cheap because they can, if they wa- if they want to hack you, they will hack your password. And the only way you can prevent that is to is to set up a complex password and an MFA, multi-factor authentication, on your devices, both on your system, on your device, on your tablet, on your phone, on your laptop, on any of your internet infrastructure, any devices connecting to the internet. You must use a complex password and also an MFA. Lack of employee training. If you have an organization and you have a couple of people working in your organization, you need to create an awareness of cybersecurity. You need to create an awareness of cybersecurity, because phishing is one of the areas, we call it phishing and the middleman, is one of the areas where hackers get into your organization network by sending out phishing email. If you send out phishing email, you're one of your staff click on it, it can become a problem, because from that particular click, they can hop into your network and do a lot of exploration within your network without even you knowing. So it's very important that you create that awareness within your organization, within your staff, so that they are aware of different kind of strategy or method, both psychological and technical method, that hackers can use to gain access to your organizational network and steal data. Very, very important. Protecting against cyber threats. Ex- Again, just give you a bit of a tips on it. Implementing security software, utilizing reputable antivirus, anti-malware, firewall solutions. It can help to prevent cyber threats, and we can provide essential layer of defense on your digital systems and data. Regular data backup. You must back up your data if you are if you are an organization dealing with a lot of data. You should back up your data, and when you have a backup, make sure there's an assurance on the backup, in terms of how you will restore in an incident case where you have a cyber attack. You must be able to restore your data without restoring a threat onto the new system. Okay, so that's very important. You have to even when you're doing the backup and restore, you must be aware that you are not restoring uh, another threat that's already lying on the backup. Incident response planning. I'm sure, if you ask me, if you do a survey on this particular topic, incident response, a lot of medium businesses, individuals or medium businesses, don't have any incident response planning, because they feel like they don't feel like they can be attacked. anybody can be subject to attack, cyber attack. Excuse me. Anyone can be subject to a cyber attack. So if you're running a business, you are dealing with the community, you have people's data on your system. I have come across, I've had interaction with solicitors, and I asked them about their cyber planning. They don't have any planning, but they have a lot to deal with. They are dealing with a lot of people's data. And I said to one of them, if you are attacked and they steal this data, your business will be in trouble.
Yeah.
They don't even have a plan to, the incident response planning. Incident response planning means if you are attacked, how would you hope to recover? You must have a plan that if there is an attack, how do I recover from this plan? What are the steps I need to take to recover from this attack? Sorry, someone asking a question?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. So it's very important that as an organization, you must have an incident response plan in the case of an attack. Okay, so let's look at the importance of protecting the sensitive information. Again, we mentioned earlier on about password, preventing an unauthorized password, so implementing strong password policies. So as an organization, if you want to prevent your data from being stolen, one of the key things you want to implement as a policy is strong passwords. Okay, it's very important, and I would say important because as an organization, you must have a policy, cybersecurity policy. One of the key things that you need to implement within your policy is strong password policy. Very important. Enforcing complex password requirement within your organization and users that access your devices is very, very key. Then again, utilizing multi-factor authentication. There are so many multi-factor authentication system as well. Even Microsoft is providing one. This will enable, this will put a second layer on your users login. And it will, it means that your users will have to authenticate themselves twice, which will prevent a middleman from stealing their identity. Then regular security update and patches, as I mentioned earlier on, is very key. As all your devices in your organization, you must make sure that the patches are run and all your devices are updated in terms of security updates. Safeguarding against data breaches. Data loss is one of the major cyber challenge that organizations do have. When I mean data loss, I mean people stealing your data. You run a business and you have about hundreds of thousands of customers that you deal with. One of your staff comes in and after 6 months decided to, doesn't like, have an issue with you, wants to move away and decide to take your data away. What's the impact on your organization? Number one, you lose customers, you lose money. But to prevent that from happening, you have to implement certain security measures to safeguard your data from being breached. So you encrypt your sensitive data, your customer data, your user, your business data, your banking data, your business, your invoices. Encrypt them. Make sure they are encrypted and make it unreachable to unauthorized users. That way, you will safeguard your data. Implement secure data storage practices. So storing data in secure location and not utilizing encryption, it also helps to prevent unauthorized access. Regular data backup and recovery procedure. Again, I mentioned that earlier on, creating a routine backup process to ensure that your data can be restored in event of a breach or data. And also one of the things I probably didn't put in there was don't allow people to use USB on your devices. Why would you allow someone to bring a data? Because that's even a quicker way to introduce a malware, because you can transfer malware from another system that's already corrupted into your network. Put a safe a safe measures in place that will block the usage of USB devices on your network. And then I mentioned earlier, educating employees on cyber threats. As an organization, it's very important that you conduct regular cybersecurity training for your staff, promote a culture of security awareness. Okay, get them to do a lot of training. There's so many online training that would enable them to understand the impact of cybersecurity, both to them as an individual, as a user on your computer, and also on their work. Establishing a clear security policies and procedures is very important. Every organization should have a clear, defined security policies and procedures. This would help to prevent and also mitigate against cyber attack to the organization. Let's look at best practices for individuals and organizations to enhance cybersecurity. What are the best practices? Again, we'll talk about it. I'll skip through this very quickly, which is, we mentioned this earlier, regular update on password and use of multi-factor authentication, educating employees, and then making sure that robust security measures for devices and network are in place. Data protection, privacy, you must regularly back up your data. Adhere to data protection regulations. You have to make sure that you know what the data protection regulations law are and how to make sure that your company is adhering to that. And then, of course, you conduct security assessment and audit. I'm gonna expand more on security assessment and audit later on in this slide. Incident response and cyber resilience, I mentioned that earlier on. Again, I'm going to expand more on this here. So you must develop and test an incident response plan. So you have a plan, but you haven't tested. How would my plan work if I'm being attacked? Majorly, a lot of organizations that say, yes, I have, and I'm not talking about small organizations, I'm talking about big organizations, even the NHS. I've asked them before, I've asked an IT director before. I said, do you have an incident response plan? He said, yeah, we do. I think we do. Yeah. I said, do you have it documented? Yeah, we have. I said, oh, that's great. That's interesting. Have you tested? He said, what do you mean tested? I was like, so you want to buy a car, they sell you a car, you wouldn't test drive the car, make sure that the car fits your purpose or will take you to wherever you want to go. I said, well, that plan you have is subject to failure because you haven't tested. How do you know it will work? How do you know you will recover? So every plan must be tested. Every cybersecurity plan must be tested because you need to know whether it's going to work or not. You need to be able to see the effectiveness of that plan, of that cyber response plan, and make sure that it can work for you. And then establishing partnership with cybersecurity expert and response team in a case where you have an attack, you need to be able to conduct or call some experts to help you to recover. So you must have a collaboration with experts in this field. And then you foster a culture of continuous learning and adaptation. So yeah, very important, learning what's going on in the cyber world and be able to adapt to and empower your organization and individuals with evolving cyber threat, knowing and understanding where the threats are, how you can be attacked, and so that you can mitigate against them. So, how do you address cybersecurity challenges with NCSC? What is NCSC? National Cybersecurity Center. That's UK National Security Center. National Security Center was launched in October 2016 to provide a single point of contact for SMEs, large organizations, government agencies, the general public, and department. They work in collaboration with other law enforcement agencies like defense, the defense, and the UK's intelligence and security agencies and international partners. For individuals, they provide advices on using a strong password and separate password for emails and devices, how you can set up strong passwords, what are the benefits of setting up strong password, and how you can ensure that you install the latest software update an app onto your devices, how you can turn on your two-step verification or multi-factor authentication. It's all in there. They have all this information on their website, so they guide you and walk you through how to do it as an individual, and how you can even back up your data as an individual. Also, as a self-employed or small, medium size, they run you through, they give you guidance on how you can do your backup of your data, how to protect your organization from malware, how to keep your smartphone and tablets and devices safe. They have all different guidance covering all of these topics, and how to use password to protect your data, and how to encrypt your data and avoiding phishing attack. How to avoid phishing attack. They will give you a lot of training. There's a lot of video training. There's sort of guidance notes on their website on how to avoid phishing attack. For large organizations, they have things on the device security. There's a guidance on device security, how to set up policies, how to set up and manage deploy devices, how to set up infrastructure security, and how to bring your devices. A policy on bring your own devices, how to set up policies on bring your own devices. So we're talking about people that bring uh, their USB keys and all, and use their devices, their own personal devices for work. They also walk you through guidance with enough guidance on how to set up security risk management framework, governance and method. They also walk you through how to mitigate malware and ransom attack, and how to set up your incident response and cyber assessment framework. All of these are on their website. The NCSC have all this information and guidance on their website. I'm going to walk you through some essentials tools that NCSC has been using. Information sharing and cyber threat intelligence. This is some of the things that NCSC also do. They guide you on how to do a data exchange and analysis, how to set up an early warning system, which is like scanning your system, and how often you need to scan your system, and how to manage the analysis that you're getting back, and how to monitor the traffic on your network. They also give you guidance on collaborative and research initiatives. um, Interagencies coordination as well. You have a lot of information on there on how to manage and how to collaborate with interagencies and government agencies. Now, one of the key tools I'm going to talk about here that is very important that NCS is rollout is Cyber Essential. Cyber Essential is an effective government scheme that will help you to protect your organization, and whatever size is it, either medium, large, or small, yeah, and against a whole range of most common cyber attack. So, for as an organization, if you want to do any business with any public sector in UK, you must go through Cyber Essential. You must be certified by Cyber Essential. You must go through. So there are two options that are available for Cyber Essential. We have the Cyber Essential and the Cyber Essential Plus. The first one is just a self-assessment option. It gives you protection against a wide variety of the most common cyber attack. Okay, it allows you to do a vulnerability assessment of your of your whole system. It gives you guidance on what are the things that you haven't done that you need to do to check. It gives you, it shows you how to address those basic and prevent the most common attack as well. Once you run through this and you pass through, you're able to fix those or mitigate those issues that's been detected within your cyber essential assessment. Then you will get certification. This certification will enable you to show your clients that you are cyber essential certified. The cyber essential plus, it has the same um, content as Cyber Essential, but it just that it simplifies the approach and the protection you need to put in place at the same time. But for Cyber Essential Plus, it is hands-on technical verification. You would need a certified person to walk you through Cyber Essential Plus, and the NCSC has so many certified consultants that can walk you through. Okay, like I said, why do you need Cyber Essential? It reassures customers that you are working to secure your IT against cyber attack. When you do through Cyber Essential and your organization has gone through the Cyber Essential assessment and you have your certificate, your customers will be reassured. It also gives you an adoption of advanced security measures, so you can put a lot of advanced security measures against cyber attack to your business. You have a clear picture of your organization's cybersecurity level. It gives you a clear picture of your organization's cybersecurity level. It also allows you to have government or to secure or to bid for government contract. If you are going for any government contract, local or national, you need to be Cyber Essential certified. That's what the rule is in UK. I'm not sure what it is. I think in the US it's different as well, but in Nigeria I don't know what the rule is. But for UK, that's what it is. So again, if you would like to bid for central government, as I said, central government contract, you will be involved in handling, and you want to be involved in handling sensitive data for government, you will need your products, your organization will need to have Cyber Essential certification. And I've put a link in there on their website where you can get more information on how to get Cyber Essential certification for your organization. Emerging technology and trends in cybersecurity. There's so many things coming up now. We thought, oh, cybersecurity is just about my computer being hacked or not being hacked. But there are more emerging technologies and trends in cybersecurity nowadays. I think we should understand what these trends are and what is coming. AI, artificial intelligence, is now moving more into the cybersecurity trends, and we need to understand that AI is come to stay, and AI is going to run a lot of automate a lot of our processes, but it has its own cybersecurity vulnerability as well. Quite a lot. Every area where you have where you have people developing AI solution, there is cybersecurity vulnerability on the back of it. Okay, for example, there's an AI solution that can actually put your image into somebody else's image, put your own picture in somebody else's image, and mitigate, or rather imitate you. That's an AI solution. Fantastic. But it has its own cybersecurity vulnerability in there as well. So people can actually do crime and put your face as the one that did it. They can imitate your voice. They can copy your voice, and as if you are the one talking. You haven't made that statement. So there's a lot of things coming up in AI, but it has its own vulnerability. So we got to be careful how we use AI solutions. Okay. So ML-based machine learning. So we have, a lot of things. Machine learning has been, it's also one of the part of AI, and and it's being used to identify abnormal behavior patterns and aiding in early threat identification. So a lot of organizations are now using machine learning to develop, to manage their threat level, threat identification. When I mean threat, as in cyber threat identification. So AI-driven predictive analytics. So they can predict, AI solution can predict where an attack is likely to take place because of the pattern that has happened in the past. So AI is designed to look at the pattern and look at where a potential attack can take place, and then you will be able to raise the bar on those analytics that is giving you. So machine learning, power security, automation, and that's another angle of new trends coming in that can actually automate, streamline security processes, which can reduce the time to security incidents. So it can actually prevent or reduce the security incident from happening by automating some of the processes that we do, and we're not going to be able to do it faster. So he will do it faster. Machine learning automation system will do it faster for us. IoT security and vulnerability. IoT is Internet of Things. devices, those devices that we use in our house, where you say, Alexa, play me a song. They all have their own um, security threat as well. But it's, as much as they pose a risk, we need to be able to divide, look at how to mitigate against the risks of IoT. One thing I always want to say is that when you are not using your computer, if your computer, one of the key things about cameras, IoTs, cameras on our device is an IoT. Cameras on your screen is an IoT. When you're not using your system and you are not locking it, if you leave it open, switch off your camera. If your system is hacked, the first thing they want to do is to look at your data. If they can't find your data, if they can't steal your data, they will switch on. They can hack into your camera, your laptop camera, and they can monitor you. They can switch it on and monitor you. As I'm presenting right now, I know my camera is on. So if you see the light on your camera, you should be curious. Why is my light camera on? Why? It's happened before. I've seen it happen before, and I'm like, oh, somebody put on my camera. Why? That was all right. So that was how I got to know that, oh, this system is compromised. I had to whack it off, clean it off. Vulnerability in IoT communication protocols. So there's weakness in communication protocols for IoT, which can expose IoT devices to potential exploitation, which is what I've just explained. So which can necessitate stringent protocols. Privacy concerns with IoT data collection. So data privacy issues arise a lot with IoT data collection. They can use, your IoT device to collect your data. Securing interconnected IoT ecosystem. So protecting interconnected IoT system requires comprehensive security measures to prevent widespread breaches. So any IoT, if you have a lot of IoT in your room, for example, you have Ring cameras in your room. If there's a breach on your network, they can breach your Ring cameras. They can breach anything within your system, within your IoT system. So it's very important for those of us that enjoy IoT devices to make sure that there's extra protection, because these IoT devices have their own vulnerability and we need to be very careful when we use them. So cloud security and data protection is another thing. A lot of organizations are moving into cloud. Cloud has its own security vulnerability. Even though cloud is the hinting now, every organization are also trying to explore the technology of cloud-based technology. There are lots of um, security breaches or vulnerability that can come within a cloud-based technology. Okay, for example, cloud-based identity and access management uh, issues. There are quite a lot of issues within cloud-based identity IAM on the cloud-based technology. So, we need to make sure that we mitigate security risk in cloud-based identity theft. Security cloud-based APIs. So for those that use API to connect from one system for our system or to another system, or from one system to our system, API security is crucial to prevent unauthorized access and data breaches in cloud environment. Compliance challenges in cloud data storage. Again, we're talking about data storage, and the compliance standard is very crucial for ensuring data integrity and privacy in cloud storage solution. Ransomware and cyber extortion, that's quite common now. Impact of ransomware attacks continue to evolve. It's still evolving, and they're still developing more, and it poses new challenges for cybersecurity professionals. So, for example, we have impact of ransom on critical infrastructure. There's a lot of impact that ransomware and the threat it breeds to by targeting critical infrastructure, which can lead to widespread disruption. Emergence of double extortion scheme. When they lock your system down and they want to extort you, they ask for money, and until you pay, they cannot release your system. Yeah, so ransomware is very, very it's creating a lot of challenge, ransomware as a service proliferation. So the rise of ransom RAS models facilitates the widespread of distribution of ransomware nowadays, which necessitate proactive countermeasures. So there's a lot of countermeasures that needs to be put in place to prevent a ransomware as a service, on our network or on our infrastructure. Skill shortage. There's a lot of skill shortage in cybersecurity as the new technology is evolving. The new threats are evolving. The world needs cybersecurity professionals. They need lots of cybersecurity professionals. The world will need a lot in the near future as new technology are building up. Okay, and the demand for specialized cybersecurity skills is growing. The challenges is to recruit them and retain cybersecurity talent are it's very competitive in the market at the moment. But the impact of skills shortages on security posture is very, very critical, because if we don't have enough cybersecurity personnel within our organizations or within the world organizations, then there's going to be a lot of challenges when the threats is increasing and we don't have enough resources to manage those threats. So diversity and inclusion in cybersecurity workforce. Promoting diversity and inclusion in the cybersecurity workforce fosters innovation and experience in addressing multifaceted security challenges. So, hey, this is just telling you that there's a lot of work, there's a lot of resources, there's a lot of challenges within the cybersecurity, and there's not enough people to solve this problem. If you go to Indeed and you search, or if in JobServe or one of those job sites, you search for cybersecurity, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of work out there, and you wonder why are there so much work and there's not enough people to fill it, because the vulnerability is increasing every day. Well, thank you for this little snippet that I've put together. I just want to ask if there's any question for me.
Thank you so much. That was good. Thanks for your presentation. Very inspiring, educative as well. Friends, I think that's very good. We've had Mr. Ola with his presentation, and I know he's got a lot to share on that, but because of time, we are constrained, and so he's able to just share basic things and then, focusing on the key areas where we can actually begin to think about it, and see where we are with our organization, whether you're a small scale, medium scale, or large scale. I think you are all concerned about cybersecurity. As much as you take people's data, you store people's data, you collect people's data, I think you are liable to, and you are responsible, because you take leadership in the area of safeguarding and protecting people's data and companies' information. However little or small it may be, very important. So, friends, if you have questions, this is the time for you to please type in your questions. Just slot it in the comment section. We should be able to pick it up and we'll be able to answer your questions. Joining with us to discuss and perhaps, throw more light on a few things and then attempt to answer your questions is Mr. Daniel Adebayo. Thank you so much for joining us. Eventually, thank you. Yes, friends, we're waiting for questions, and I think it's the time for us. It's about that time that we want you to please ask your questions, and we'll be able to take it. I'm particular about some areas that I know that needs a bit of not only explanation or information. It's also very important to understand the clarity around the consequences of data breach, and of course the compensation or penalties that you are likely going to face, because I did a study sometimes around data protection, GDPR, and I was amazed at the volume of how much it is that you could be fined if you are, if you are guilty of a data breach. And I think I'm scared about that. So, and to those who are, taking people's information, data and all that, you got to be very conversant with it, because you have the responsibility to ensure that the people's information are protected and are used for the same reason why you collected them. If it is used for some other things, it's a breach. And if you are careless about it, it's also a breach. Anyway, I'm not an expert. We have the experts in the house. They will help us clarify a few areas around that. And then, of course, we'll see where we are. So, friends, if you have questions, people are YouTube, some people are from Facebook, and of course on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining. Dari from YouTube, Pastor Ola from YouTube. I've got a lot of people here. I can see Flexi from YouTube. Yes, and now, of course, a good friend of the house, Dr. Fumilola Teller from Facebook as well. So, Mr. Daniel, and Mr. Ola, how do you help our listener, address the issue, or how can they be clear about the issue of data breach and the data breach consequences and the penalties? Thank you.
If I can chip in on that, so like I said, the NCSC has a lot of information about GDPR on how to, as medium organization or small or medium organization, how you are supposed to manage your client's data. Okay, because it's very important that whether it is soft copy or hard copy, they are data and they are supposed to be managed. If as a client, if I find my data being mismanaged, I can go to the Center for Information and Data Protection and file a complaint and make a claim. So if the new rules, so you need to be, as an organization that you manage people's data, you need to know what are the risks of this data that you are managing. How can, if there's a breach, or how can there be a breach of their data protection? You need to understand these rules. You need to know what the data protection framework that the government has set up, how does it apply to my business? So having that information at hand, empowering yourself with this information, enable you to know how to manage those data. In the past, organizations have been careless. I've worked in organizations that are so careless. And when I sit down today and I think about how those organizations manage those data then, I like, if I were the one, I'll be laughing in the bank now, because I will have make a lot of claims. So I, as a business owner, with managing people's data, you need to understand what will be the impact, the legal impact, the legal implication of the data you are holding for people.
That's key. Yes, thank you. I know. That's a very important. The essence of the whole essence of what I was saying that is that, because I understand that we could be very carefully use the word careless when it comes to collecting people, collecting data, and of course safeguarding data. We could be so careless, but at the same time, it could be very, very. We could be so exposed, and putting ourselves in a situation where we shouldn't. Because I know that an organization can be fined up to 17.5 million pounds, if the maximum of 17.5 million pounds, if you are found guilty of data breach, and that is in UK. If it is in euro, that's about 20 million euros. So you can imagine how much that is, because again, you got to be careful, and these are the things you got to know. There's no ignorance in this. You got to know it. You have to take things and lectures, or perhaps take courses like you have mentioned in this area. That you are small, medium, or large, make sure you are educated and well informed And then, of course, get experts involved in your process, because we have heard at the beginning that cybersecurity is all centers around people, process, and technology. Am I still right? I think
Yeah,
I'm a good listener.
absolutely.
So, and and then if you know that, then you know that those things comes with responsibilities, and responsibility lies on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I don't know if any other clarification you want to bring up, because there are some questions here that I want to ask you. Although some of the okay, let me take Flexi from YouTube. I asking that you mentioned earlier that there are lots of opportunities in cybersecurity sector, and I think this answer is obvious and very clear. He said, could you say this is a career area to look into and won't become saturated quickly or so soon? I don't think it's ever
I'll
going to
let
go
Mr.
away.
Daniel answer that for a bit. Daniel,
Yes.
you want to chip in on that?
Welcome, Mr. Daniel. Welcome.
I'm coming through clearly.
Yeah.
With related to that question, like everywhere on this earth there are other people, and being standing out to be the reason why people talk to you, why people want you to solve their problem, requires to kind of putting a little more effort. So with regard to your question, there is the opportunities about cybersecurity and every day. Maybe Mr. Ola mentioned generative AI and the impact it's having to the world. From a cybersecurity perspective, people need to understand that also. People need to be able to solve that problem. So if you're part of those people to solve that problem, there's always a space for you. So that's what I would say about that. There's opportunity in cybersecurity. There's people a need for people that basically have that skill, and there's also a reason why you should actually come and start now. There's a space for you already, I would say. And also, when I give career about when I give career advice like this, one of the things I do mention is that there was an analogy that someone mentioned to me a while back about someone being a diver. You dive into the ocean to go find things. It might be artifacts, it might be whatever it is, and then you have the unique experience, or you have the understanding to know about geology. How rocks are formed. You know, People will pay you more because of that combined experience. You're taking ideas from your experience as a geologist and combining that with your love for diving into oceans. Will give you a unique playing ground, somewhere that nobody can actually match you. So my recommendation is that coming in cybersecurity will need your perspective. If you're working in the financial sector, you understand a little bit more about the financial industry, and you could stand out very well when you combine that with cybersecurity. So there's no loss here. If you take it as a career, you can bring in your experiences, you can bring that out, and you can stand out, and you can actually help your customers and your organization. So that's my little chip in on that.
Yeah, just on the back of that, so like I said, there's quite a lot of opportunity in cybersecurity, because new technology are being developed, robots are being developed now, and robots are programmable. You know, some of them are machine learning languages being programmed in a robot. If as long as somebody wrote a code for it, it can be hacked. So think about that. The kind of massive number of program that's been developed or robot that's going to be developed in the next few years, how many of them can go wrong? How many of them can be hacked? Even talking about uh, uh, when I was doing my master, one of the research we did was the vulnerability of autopilot cars. And you can imagine a lot of autopilot cars being developed nowadays. So think about the security breaches that can occur within an autopilot car. I am a person. I'm buying an autopilot car. I don't want someone to hack into my car and crash me. So definitely, I'll be looking for security personnel, cybersecurity person to make sure that my car is safe. So again, as new technology are evolving, as new technology are being, as springing up every now and then, there is a need for a cybersecurity personnel to develop or mitigate against cyber threats on those technology. So definitely, it can never be saturated. As long as IT is still evolving and still dynamic, it can never be saturated.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I think my take is just like I think that is very true, to be honest, and simply because technologies is evolving, and as long as that is the key, and AI is there now, so we will always gonna be having experts required in that field, because again we are in for a bigger spectrum of development and advancement in technology. So new expert, new knowledge, will be emerging as long as technology is advancing. So yes, if you are interested, flexi in exploring, that field, I think you're good to go. You've got experts in the house. And he also asked, quickly to add that talking about IoT, devices in the homes. You mentioned about the necessity of adding extra layers of security. Apart from changing the router's admin password, for instance, or the default WPA2 keys, on the Wi-Fi. How do you really want to keep changing, or what kind of layer or extra layer of security measure can you put apart from just changing your password and then keep changing it from time to time?
Daniel, do you want to chip in on that before you run off? I know you said you're going to go off soon.
Yeah, that's true. So that's a good question. It's layered, definitely, and there's no one way to answer it. It's all based on the context of where you're using this IoT infrastructure for. So for home use, one of the things I would advise first anyone considering going into IoT is to consider the vendor that they're actually um, buying carefully. We want to ensure that you're not purchasing devices that are cheaply made in China, because these devices are actually manufactured to be backdoors into your house. So no matter how you set the password, so for those devices, someone is actually taking control of your network over
Yeah.
at the other side of of the world. So I'll start off from that. Consider what you're trying to do. If it's going to be cameras, so you're going to be purchasing. If it's going to be routers to share your Wi-Fi within your house, or if it's going to be probably your new microwave oven that's an app on your Android phone. You need to consider where you're buying it from. Ensure that you buy devices from vendors that have been certified. Do a little bit of research well, and be very skeptical about buying from China. That's what is prevalent these days. My second recommendation would be to ensure that these devices are located in an area or a network that is not connected to your own sensitive um, area. What I mean is that these devices do not need to communicate with other devices within your network. They don't need to talk to your TV or the rest. They talk to the internet. So you should make sure that that's the only thing they're talking to. The way you do that is to implement firewalls, for example, create different network for different use, so that then you lock them in there. So no matter what happens, they don't talk to you, talk to your other devices within your house. And next, check, always check, always check for an update. Most people think IoT devices are not active. They think they're just passive, just install and forget. But most of the devices require regular patching, because they are built on very small microprocessors. Because of that, there is a requirement not to install too many things. So we just install what is needed to operate the IoT device or equipment. So in that case, there is a lot of cutting corners, I would say. But these manufacturers, they say that they do release updates regularly to ensure that the software that they're running that's been customized for their own use is meeting security requirements. I think that's where I'll stop for now. But like I said, it's dependent on the use case for our client.
Wow,
Yep.
thank you so much. Thank you for that. Yes, more questions, please. I can only see question from YouTube. I'm not sure if anybody on LinkedIn is asking a question, but I've got one question. It's just saying, well, my question is not that you have not mentioned something in that, right? But I just want us to be a bit specific, if we can, with examples, if we like. And then that is talking about the emerging threats. You know, you're talking about threats and the current, cyber criminals that is, developing new approach and new threats to things. But how can an organization, for instance, or how can organizations prepare for and respond to, to be more specific now, ransomware attacks? How can they prepare for it? And then what are the latest trends? And I'm talking about latest trends now in cybersecurity threats and defenses, if you like.
So let me start off with that, so that you can chime in. When it comes to ransomware, you think about it. What are the attackers out for? What do they want? And when you understand what someone wants, then you understand how to kind of prevent them from getting what they want. So that approach is something that you should consider when you think about ransomware. So in your organization, in your context, what does data mean to you? Because that's what these attackers are for. The attackers are going after the data because you think is sensitive, or you think is very important to your business, and they want to hurt you either by making it unavailable for you, or basically by preventing you from accessing it. Some of the considerations that you should look at is basically identifying where your data is. It starts by having a very good data inventory, with the data catalog system, where you know my data for A is in area A, my data for B is in area B, my data for C is in area C. From a very organization now conscious consideration, I would leverage on what Mr. Lawal said, basically leveraging on existing frameworks, leveraging on the professionals to basically help you out in this case is very important. But at the same time, ensuring that you're keeping your data away from the people that are not meant to have them. Ensuring that you are taking encryption seriously, and then you are not allowing people to encrypt what you have with something that you can't control. Ensure that the path to that data, every step of the way, is being certified, is being checked. Are you missing something here? And ensure that you're able to control who has access to your data, and when and how they can access the data. So if you put this gate around the data, and then what is inside your data, what is inside that gate, you encrypt it, ensure that you own that key. And lastly, but most importantly, you should keep regular backup of your data. It's kind of critical. It's critical. Actually, we've seen scenarios of organizations being hit by ransomware, and as part of their policy, they do not pay ransomware. They don't pay ransom, I would say. And the reason why they are doing that is because they have a very good backup program. So look at how you're backing up your data. If you have a replica of what you have currently in a different environment that is also isolated, you can easily call that back and restore your system and save your money when these guys still do call. So those are the things I would add to it.
Thank you. I don't know if Mr. La has got something to add to that.
It's actually said it all, but most importantly is what I said. Have a plan for incident response plan, just to add to what Daniel said, you must have an incident response plan, tested incident response plan, so that when it happens, you can respond appropriately and effectively and be able to restore yourself or your organization or your data back to normal without paying the ransom. So it's very important. And all that stuff, I don't know if you mentioned this, is making sure that you um your organizations are well aware of the threats that ransomware can bring to the organization, whereby you can reduce the impact that this attack can have on your business.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Listener, I don't know if anyone has got any other question. Thank you so much. I think we are going to be wrapping it up from this side. I want to really appreciate Mr. Daniel for his expertise and contributions, particularly answering the questions. And most especially, we want to appreciate our guest speaker on this, masterclass today, Mr. Ogunnoiki. Thank you so much. So thank you for for attending, and all our listeners and participants. We want to appreciate you.
I just want to chip in something quickly.
Yes, yeah,
we're running a
I'll give
training.
you, I'll,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I'll give you a time. Yes, so we want to appreciate all our listeners joining all from the platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, and then of course YouTube. This is a regular monthly masterclass, and then of course next episode will be coming in the month of August. I will be sharing that date with you. Just be on the lookout for your emails or messages, text messages. The details will be sent out early enough, and it's going to be very exciting and interesting topic as well. So yes, um, final words, sir, Mr. Ola, before I conclude. Thank you.
Yes, sorry, I was jumping the gun there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's all right.
I was going to say that for those that want to, you know, maybe get interested and want to dive into the cybersecurity world as a profession, we are hoping to run a training session. Myself and Daniel, we're running the training sessions very soon, and mainly it's going to focus around being an expert in cloud security. That would hopefully start sometime in September. So if you're interested, you're an audience on this platform and you're interested, please reach out to the host. And once we have your interest, when we have the meeting, we will do a boot camp and we will send a link out to join boot camp to learn more about it. Thank you everybody for joining and spending the time for me today to explain this. I really appreciate the time we spent together, and we hope that we are safe in this cyber world.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah. Thank you. Before let me just say this last. Thank you so much, Ms. Ola. Yes, you bring that on. Let us know, and we'll be able to, share that on the platform as well. So, friends, my I hope somebody has not hacked into my laptop. I couldn't move my mouse, but that's all right. So thank you. We hope you find this stimulating and educational. I have actually, if you have any other questions or comments or inquiries, please feel free, visit our website at www.skillsmindset.com. Leave us with a message, and one of our team members will reach out to you. We recognize and encourage that you subscribe, and follow us on all various platforms that we've mentioned, so you don't have to miss any of our episodes, particularly our weekly podcast and monthly masterclass. On this note, I encourage you to approach every moment of your life and business with courage and optimism. Keep pushing your dreams with knowledge and unwavering passion. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be expecting you next time. Thank you.
Thank you all. God
Thank you
bless.
all.
world is changing, and so does change. But the mind has the potential to capture the changing world and make every change count. At Skillsmindset, the leading global skills, strategy and corporate development company, we believe that the mind has the potential of transforming the man from obscurity to prominence. It's the reason why we make skills our business. At Skillsmindset, we stand for change, for development and for success. We challenge, we inspire and we lead. With Skillsmindset, your limit is just the beginning. Welcome to Skillsmindset. For more information about the great service we provide, please visit our website on www.skillsmindset.com or give us a call on our UK number on 07957 676 193. Better still, send us an email on info@skillsmindset.com. Skills Mindset. Challenging limits, maximising opportunities.